Hi everybody, welcome to this pop-up Wild Portishead live show. Hello, it's Jonathan here. Now, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be looking at North Somerset Council's feedback forms for taking areas off the development list. And in our case in Portishead, it is to try and get Slade Road off the development list. Now, we've made a lot of noise about Slade Road over the last few years or so, and it's an uphill battle. It appears that you have to jump through the hoops that North Somerset Council are setting for this particular site, as in other sites, and you have to fill out forms, and you have to present a case, and they can't take places off the development list ad hoc, even though it appears that they've done that in other towns and villages across North Somerset. But that's a separate thing. So what are we talking about? Well, I'm just calling up here a list, a Google map here. So just bear with me a second, because as always, it all starts to go wrong just as you want to do it. Right. Satellite. There we go. Oh, goodness me. There we go. Satellite. Right. So this is what we're talking about. This is Slade Road field, which is just off Downside in pretty much the heart of Portishead. And there we go. That's what we're looking for. So there's Downside there, as you can see on this image here. And I'll get rid of these things. Goodness me. It's just off Avon Way. You've got Downside here, and that leads to here, which is the field at Slade Road. It's the old sloping football pitch, essentially. It's bordered by land here, which is owned by Portishead Town Council, but the actual field here is owned by North Somerset Council. Now, North Somerset Council have placed it on the development list, which sort of begs the question of how on earth are they going to develop this? How on earth are they going to build on this site? Because this land here, as I say, that's owned by Portishead Town Council. So it's not like they can just drive lorries up here and then enter the site there, because it's, they can't access that land essentially. About the only other viable alternatives are whether or not they buy up houses here, bulldoze them, and then have a feeder road going through here, or if they try to get traffic to go up Downside. Now, I think anybody who knows Downside will tell you that Downside, look how wide Downside is. It is barely a car's width there. You can imagine trying to get construction traffic down this road with residents' cars here. It's impossible. This is why we're trying to set up meetings at the moment with councillors from North Somerset Council, and to try and get officers down to visit this, just to show them how utterly impractical it's going to be to even think about building down here. Excuse me. As you can see, you're not going to get construction traffic down this road. And I'm sure the residents of Downside, excuse me, are not going to be delighted at the thought of having, dusty lorries thundering down here, delivering and taking away, building materials and things. Here is the field. As you see, it's the old sloping pitch here. And I think they're proposing to build something like about 15 homes here. In our eyes, it's utterly impractical. And it also completely flies in the face of their claims that they have claimed a climate emergency and rewilding. Because what you have in this field here is a perfectly rewilded site anyway. This fulfills all the criteria that North Somerset Council have for rewilding sites. The irony is that North Somerset Council are also talking about buying up land specifically to rewild, when they already have land which fulfills that criteria, but they want to sell it for development. I don't understand it at all. So they've got a survey. They've got a survey form here, which, if we just go back, we've got the link up on the page there. But here it takes you through and says, what are you, who are you commenting on? What would you like to do? And we'll go through this in a minute. I think what we'll also do, whilst we've got the live feed up, is we will call up a video that we've got here, which was done by Portishead Town Council. And we'll only play a little bit of it because it goes on for 7 minutes. It doesn't go on, but you know what I mean. It's 7 minutes. We're not going to give you the whole 7 minutes, but we are going to give you a flavour of what it's like, for the simple reason that it does kind of demonstrate the value of Slade Road Field. And the key thing here is to, and I'm sure the councillors won't mind me saying this, the key thing here is to actually listen to what's going on in the background. So if we just share this video, just have a listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Paul Gardner here from Portishead Town Council. I'm here in Slade Road playing field. I'm joined with a couple of people. First, we've got Tim Snowden. Can you say hi?
Yeah, hello. The North Ward Councillor for the North Somerset District Council, as well as Paul there.
And I guess more importantly, we've got Pat here, that's the local resident in Downside. So, do you want to tell us a bit about the history of the place and how you and your kids have been using it over the years?
Yeah, gladly. We moved here about 32 years ago from London, having come back from overseas. We came down to visit friends a weekend, fell in love with the place instantly, and literally on the first visit made our decision to move from London to here. We had 2 young boys who were at the adventurous age of about 8 and 6, so we needed somewhere where they could grow up without fear of all the usual urban dangers. And Portishead ticked every single box. And
I understand you had a lot of pleasure in the fair itself, and the kids went to around the fair.
yes, in fact, because Portishead being a downside, being a cul-de-sac, ending here, there was Slade Road Primary School just behind us here, which my boys went to. So their journey to school pattern was much nicer than mine, because they just walked across a beautiful field into the school.
I don't know if you could hear in the background during that video, but the absolute cacophony of birdsong. There were blackbirds, robins, goldfinches. There were various great tits, blue tits. Honestly, it is just, you go down there, most days, it is so quiet there, but all you can hear is just the birds everywhere. It's almost its own nature reserve in itself. As I say, it ticks all the boxes North Somerset Council want when it comes to creating rewilded areas and to addressing climate emergency. So why, when you've already got that, when you've got an area of land that is giving that to you for free, why would you then want to build on it and destroy that and take it all away? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, there is a form that you can feed back on, and we're just going to, apparently there's it says an echo. Is it through the presenter's mic? Okay, what we'll do is we'll turn the sound down there. I hope the sound's okay. What we're going to do is we are going to pop this link up on the screen, which is here. And if you go in there, this is where you can fill in the survey form. So we'll just go to that screen now. And apparently we're having sorry, my internet connection's decided to be a bit funny tonight. So there we go. Never mind. Share screen. Here we go. Chrome tab. So that link will take you to this page, which is their Better Places, Homes and Jobs consultation on a development programme for land owned by North Somerset Council. By all means, read through it and see what they have to say. But if you want to get to the meat and potatoes, click on the link that says, give us your thoughts using this questionnaire, which brings you up onto this page. Now, the one thing I would say is the problem with a lot of these council questionnaires and forms, and this isn't just North Somerset Council, this is other councils up and down the country, is they tend to word these things in such a way that they box you into giving them the answer they want to hear. And, you know, it can be quite, I don't know, problematical in as much as that people object to something, but because of the way the questions have been phrased, is the people then compiling it say, well, no, actually, people were broadly in favour of what we want to do. So you've got to be very careful with the way these things are worded and looking at how things are done. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill this out, but obviously, you fill it out how you want. But we'll just go through the process to show you that it's not as massively difficult as it appears. So, are you responding as an individual, giving the official response on behalf of an organisation? Well, in this case, I'm going to be responding as an individual. And they're going to ask, what is your postcode? So I'll put my postcode in there. And then it says, what aspect of the proposal would you like to comment on? In this case, this is where it's slightly kind of a little bit confusing and a little bit opaque, is they're saying, I'd like to comment on sites proposed to be removed from the development program, but unfortunately, there's only one site on there, which is Midhaven Queensway. So from the outset, they're not offering Slade Road as a site to be removed from the potential development from the list of potential development sites. So this is where you've got to fight for it to be removed. So here it's sites proposed to be included in the development program, which is here, and then we click down. There we go. Land at Slade Road / downside Portishead. So ping. There we go. Do you think this site should be brought forward for development? In which case I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say, why do you do that? And I'm going to respond with, it is a perfect example of well, that's how you spell example, but example of a wheel-rarded site. Any development would have a that's how you spell detrimental. Oh, goodness me. Detrimental effect on the ecology of the area. How you spell ecology? This is the problem when you're doing stuff live. And fly in the face of rewilding. So let's just say, well, we're going to put that in. If the site was this, again, this is where it's slightly kind of trying to maneuver you into what they want you to hear, rather. So if the site was brought forward for development, which are your top 3 priorities for the site? If you notice here, they're not giving you that many kind of options here. So in this case, you notice here that almost everything is weighted towards housing. Housing. So what I'm going to put here is community use. I don't really trust where they've got quality of landscaping and green infrastructure, because I think that feeds back into housing development. I think to my mind, community uses is the only thing that that ticks the box there in every sense of the phrase. So when it says community uses, I'm tempted to put in that the land should be removed from the development list and it should be turned over to the community to turn it into a nature reserve with no building taking place whatsoever. Then it says, if there are any opportunities or objectives that you think have been missed out, what are they? I'm tempted to say it's disappointing that Slade Road wasn't offered as an option to be removed from the development list. It says, please set out any other suggestions or concerns you have about the possible development of this site. Well, that's quite simple. It's going to be a loss of yet another green space in Portishead. It's going to have a detrimental effect on the people living on downside. And it's also going to make a mockery of North Somerset Council's claims to be, trying to declare a climate emergency and rewilding. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense whatsoever. Do you think these... that's that one there. We'll just shut that one off at the moment. We've got another one. I'm going Another window up there for a moment. Let's get rid of that. Then scroll down. What community uses? So yeah, a nature reserve. Please set out any other suggestions or concerns that you have about the process of development with this site. So then we skip on to the next page. So just bear with me a sec whilst I stop sharing this window. I just got to fill in my postcode. And then we just kind of skip on to the next page. When it eventually comes through. And that's it. It goes on to the next page. It says, many thanks. Please press submit to send off your response. So it's literally a one-page, it appears to be a one-page consultation. So that's all we're asking people to do, is go onto the link that we've got up on the screen here, which is here, which we've also got up on our Wild Portishead Facebook page. And go on there, click on the link, go to the page, which, like I say, it will bring up this page, which is share screen, which brings up this page, which is Better Places, Homes and Jobs consultation. You go down and you click on the using this questionnaire here. And then it says, are you responding as an individual, giving the response, giving the official response on behalf of an organization? And then it asks you, which aspects of the proposal would you like to comment on? In this instance, as I said, I wish to comment on the on Slade Road. So in this case, you have to click on sites proposed to be included in the development program. And then you scroll down and then you find just down here, land at Slade Road / downside, section 41411. And then you, do you think this site should be brought forward development? Nope. And then you fill in, why do you think that? And then here, like I say, here, this is where they can trip you up a bit. So I would suggest that it says, what are your top 3 priorities for the use of the site? Notice top 3 priorities, but so many of them are geared towards development. So I would suggest just clicking one, which is community use, because as I said just now, a lot of these ones here can feed back through to development, and they can be classed as kind of like, approving of development. So I would suggest just going to the one section that says community uses. What community uses? Then, well, our proposal is that this land be handed over to the community. It be taken, North Somerset Council give ownership of it to Portishead Town Council. A covenant is put on it to protect it in perpetuity, and then it's made available to the community so we can do things there like plant orchards, landscape it, have wild flower beds on the field, perhaps some benches so it can be a kind of restful, mindful place. Any number of things that would be that place would be better suited to other than housing. And then you've got, if there are any opportunities or objectives you think we have missed, what are they? Well, in that case, then I'm going to comment that that there are. I'm just going to essentially tear the consultation apart because it is so utterly skewed, and say that, well, you missed the opportunity to offer more options. You've missed the opportunity to take Slade Road off the development list, etc., etc. And then please set out any suggestions or concerns you have about the possible development of the site. In which case, my concerns would be that it's totally contrary to rewilding and climate emergency. You're destroying a precious green habitat in Portishead. It will upset the ecology of the area. It's going to upset the people living on downside because they're going to have construction traffic going up and down the road. In short, and I'm hoping that once we can actually get some senior North Somerset councillors down to the site and maybe 1 or 2 of the officers and say to them, here it is, let's get a tape measure. Let's measure how wide this road is. How are you going to get construction traffic down here? And then see what they have to say. And then you just click it, make sure you've filled out everything else, click the submit button, and that's it. You're off. With a bit of luck, that will then feed through to their survey. So like I say, as many people as possible, if you can go in there and we've got the wrong screen up. if you can go in there and fill that survey up, fill it up and everything, then the more the better. And if you can fill it, if you have filled it up, and some of you already have, and I know a number of our town and district councillors have already done this, and we thank them for it, is we've got a pinned thread on the Facebook page. So if you can go there and just say done, you know, and let us know you've done it, that would be fantastic. What we don't want is for North Somerset Council to then say, well, we didn't take it off the development list because not enough people responded. It's going to need weight of numbers to actually make them sit up and take notice here. You know, and you know, we're trying to do our bit. I know there are quite a few councillors within Portishead Town Council, you know, want to see this taken off the development list as well. And I'm sure a lot of the people on Downside would like to. So yeah. If you can pop along there and fill in that form, we will be most grateful. So that's the mission, and you've got 4 more days to do it. So, you know, like I say, it literally takes 2 or 3 minutes, nothing more than that. So if you can do that, that'll be fantastic. We will keep our fingers crossed, but as I say, in the meantime, we will be lobbying district councillors at North Somerset Council, people on the executive and the officers, and just making the case that developing Slade Road Field is just utter madness. And Portishead's given up enough of its green space over the last 25, 30 years. We don't want to lose another green space. And, you know, and if you've been on our Facebook page, you'll see the video that we reposted from Portishead Town Council where, you know, they're trying to talk about Slade Road Field, but they're battling the noise of birds. We played a segment from it earlier on. You've probably seen the videos Chris Sperring has made from Slade Road Field. Hopefully in the next week or so, Chris and I might even actually do a live from Slade Road to talk about it. But it's a fabulous resource. We shouldn't lose it, and we shouldn't be losing it in the face of a district council which says that it's committed to actually trying to preserve natural environment and actually encourage the creation of more natural environments. So I think, to be honest with you, there are some people, some councillors at North Somerset Council who need to take a look at themselves and actually ask, are we doing the right thing here? Because frankly, I don't think you are. So on that note, we've got some comments here. Good comment from Dave White here. Excellent comment from Dave White. He says, maybe good to suggest that the area is managed to make it accessible and also safe for wildlife and a nice place to visit. Footpaths, information boards, seating, etc. Exactly, Dave. Absolutely. I mean, some of the ideas we've got here are at the bottom end of the slope, perfect for planting trees because that's going to soak up any kind of like natural kind of like flood water or the runoff on the field anyway. Be a perfect place to plant a community orchard down there. Quite a big community orchard. The rest of it, you could, a bit like they do down at the end of Battery Lane in down the lake grounds, is you can mow shapes into it. So you can create natural pathways through there, but also keep areas, you know, mown to kind of like shapes and patterns, almost a bit like crop circles in a way, but create those kind of patterns so that you've then got areas which are allowed to naturally grow up and, you know, you get your wildflowers and everything. You could also put some benches down there so that you've got somewhere for people to go down, sit down, and like I say, have a quiet 5 minutes. The area on the top, which is the run across that goes through to the steps and everything, we have been talking to members from Portishead Town Council about what can be done with that, including reinstating the play area up there, and also, you know, in hopefully in doing that, is also putting up information boards, telling people about the wildlife in the area, the trees, you know, things that they can look out for. Actually, turning it into almost like a hands-on experience, so that people can relate to and engage with the landscape they're walking through. So it's all things like that. They're all, you know, ideas that can be done. We just need the public to get behind them and say, yes, you know, in the words of Patrick Stewart, make it so. So on that note, like I say, we'll try and keep this brief tonight, and we will, you know, we will keep you updated, and we'll do some lives from Slade Road as well. And I think you can also put the pressure on by, you know, writing to North Somerset Council as well, saying to them, why are you looking to develop this field? You know, as I said to somebody the other week, it's a bit like Somerset County Council deciding to bulldoze Glastonbury Tor so they can build the Protect Glastonbury Tor Visitors Centre. It's that doesn't make sense, you know. Anyway, on that note, we'll keep it brief. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight, and click on the link. And if you do go in there and fill out the form, then please do just say done, and we'll try and make our case through weight of numbers. So on that note, thank you for watching, and we will be back very, very soon with some more live shows. So until then, take care. Bye for now.